You don't know it.
If everybody in the universe dies, including God, but the planets stay here.
Okay, so everybody in the universe, including God, but the planets are still there. Note that. That's the first scenario.
Is it still true that there's a telephone sitting right here on my desk?
Yes.
Then truth doesn't need to be known. So now go back and try and redefine God again.
Wait a minute. Hold up. You said that if everybody's gone except for God and the telephone.
No. If everybody's God, every mind is gone, and even the God that you think exists ceases to exist, such that only physical stuff in this universe exists.
Only physical stuff in the universe exists. That is not the same as the planets. Only physical stuff, because planets can be not just physical but also psychological, because that's what the first formations of the universe is. And that is inherently psychological. If you're saying that only space-time is there, only half of the full thing of what is life is there, because it's space-time and time-space. If you're saying that only stuff is there, only the stuff that is in space and time, then you're missing the time element. And there's no time for that stuff to exist in. So there's no awareness there, so nothing is observable because nothing is being observed.
There are no more minds to know anything.
You just say it right there. There are no more minds to know anything, to do observation. How do you know the telephone is there? You look, you observe, it is there. How do you know if there are no minds to observe it with?
Okay.
Is it still true? Is it still true that there's a telephone on my desk?
There's no way to know.
No, there is a way to know. I just defined the scenario in which everything else remains the same. This telephone is still sitting here, and every mind in the universe and outside the universe, every mind that could know anything, ceases to exist.
So then how do you know that the telephone is there? If there is no way to know if the telephone is there, then how do you know that the telephone is still there?
Right now, yet this remains the same.
If you have no ability to figure out if the telephone is there, how do you know that it's still there?
Is it still true that...
Is the moon still there if you don't observe it? I believe I'd prefer to think that the moon is still there, even though I'm not observing it.
There's a phone sitting on this desk.
There's a phone sitting on this desk, even though no one's... Even though there is no possibility ever to be able to see it, because there is no one to observe it.
Truth of the phone sitting on the desk would be unknowable at that point.
I'm not worried about whether or not it's unknown or unknowable.
Yes, why aren't you?
I'm asking, is it still true that there's a phone on this?
It is impossible, fundamentally impossible to know.
Desk.
Okay. Is something, well, that's what I'm trying to get at, is if something is unknowable, it's indifferent from what exists.
Is it still an accurate fact that there is a phone sitting on this desk?
No.
No.
I don't know what we can continue to talk about then.
Yes, because talking about things that are possible to talk about is apparently what reality is. Because that's not possible to talk about and you think it is. How the fuck is it possible to say you know that something's there when you can't observe it?
Because what you're describing as truth has nothing in common with what I describe as truth. Truth is that which comports with the facts of reality.
And the fact of reality is you cannot know if something is there if you have no ability whatsoever to observe it, which is the case if there are no minds to observe anything. That is a fact of reality.
And if the fact of reality is that there's a phone sitting on this desk, then it is true that there's a phone sitting on this desk, completely independent of whether anybody is...
That's a tautology. How do you know the phone is there? You know the phone is there because you're able to look at it with your fucking eyeballs.
...aware of it or not. Your model Your model denies all truth that isn't in the current awareness of some individual, which is why you're positing a God that knows everything when you have no reason to think a God knows anything. Your argument is there must be a God who knows.
And he's distracted by the theism of the viewer. And frankly, that is a pretty distracting thing. It's just the theist is correct here. Usually they aren't.
Anything, otherwise there can be no truth, which is what I told you you were arguing 10 minutes ago. You owe me $1.
Wow.
Yeah, but that didn't.
That... I feel like I should call it projection, but that doesn't quite seem right, but I don't know what else it would be called, so... I'm ending this.